Hello, this is Dr. Mulder. I'm going to do a quick video here and talk about the helmet. This thing, this is one of Uncle Chuckie's favorite devices. He did all kinds of naughty things with them. He would go into the minds of voters back in the 70s and try to steer their idea of voting for a certain candidate over another one, make them more apt to vote for somebody else. I think there was a major scandal going on in Chicago at the time, and anyway, he was kind of utilizing that little incident. This and a lot of other things that he was doing. I think this at first the idea originally came from a comic book, from what Chuck told me. Remember, you see like the villain having this helmet and he could control minds, and I think he even ran a couple of frames of the cartoon on his website, or from a comic book rather, and so he loved the idea of using a device that he could plug into the machines and basically have a direct thoughts, or use his thoughts directly toward a target in conjunction with radionics. And he had many different variations of this thing. A lot of them were toys that he would just get, out of a toy store somewhere, and he would just modify the things. He started putting dials on them, potentiometers, switches and everything else. I don't think he ever got to the electrical part of it or using electronics, but he was close. And I'm going to kind of give you an overview here. As you'll see,
zoom in a second.
Okay, I don't know. Let's try to get you a good view.
Yeah.
Okay, if you'll see this right here, this is a magnet, and this very same thing is written up in his book, where you have one magnet, say north, south, and north-south, and there's like a total of 8 magnets in this helmet, and they're all, each one is a different pole. Okay, is coming inward.
Yeah, I'm just
also, yeah.
There we go.
All right, and also there's a coil right here, and this looks like aluminum foil because that's exactly what it is. I wanted to use something that was metallic, had to be metallic, but it had to be flexible, and I didn't want to cut anybody's head. So this thing is very flexible, and there's no sharp edges to it, so to speak, and anyway, makes it safer. And then you'll see a crystal in the back, which is the antenna. It acts as a transmitter and an antenna. Also, there's going to be 3 other crystals here, 3 other crystals right here, and they're connected, working with the potentiometer. This is sort of a smaller version, for all intents and purposes, sort of a smaller version of a 3-dial machine that I sell. And but anyway, that's sort of the working, some of the major components in here. And also there's an electronic amplifier and a 9-volt battery right there. And this is powered unit.
So how, if you don't mind me asking, so when the battery runs out, how do we change the battery?
Oh, it's real simple. You go in, and this thing is on Velcro.
Yeah.
You just pull it out, gently pull it out, put a new battery in, put the Velcro back on the new battery, and plug this back in. Under normal use, this thing should last you a couple years before you have to change the battery out.
Oh, great.
It's very energy efficient. All right, the next feature, this is what really makes these things. Chuck always wanted me to try to put a light on this thing, then tie it into the circuit. And at the time, we really didn't know exactly how we were going to do this and make this ergonomic and make it in such a way where it would really work. And about 1.5 years, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, I started working on this problem, and this is what we came up with. If you'll see this right here, this is they call it a Tepa-Phone, and what it is tapping into the inside of the circuit, and it's tapping into the inside of the circuit, and the output of the circuit is also going to this lamp. And this lamp this light here acts as a carrier wave, and it's projected toward a target. The idea of this Tepa-Phone, it had its beginnings were, I think, back in the 1800s, the way I understand from Chuck, maybe even earlier. And what they would do is they would get a kerosene lamp, and they put optics in front of it to focus the light coming off the kerosene lamp, and then they'd have a glass slide of some kind of a sigil or something that they were trying to do, and they would take that and project it toward the portrait of a target or toward something that represented the target, and to try to create an effect. And again, the magicians, they kind of had the right idea. They didn't know the science behind it, but they did have a usable technology, and apparently it was very they were getting a lot of great results from this, and they continued using this. And this practice, I don't think it's so much is that popular today, but fortunately, the technology came about where we can take an LED and do this and eliminate a lot of the problems that they were having. All you have to do when you turn this thing on is take the light, have a target in front of you, like it could be a computer screen, it could be a picture, but you would have a target in front of you, and you point that light toward the target, and you project whatever it is that you're trying to do. If you're trying to influence them, say it's your boss, and you're trying to get a promotion, have the picture toward the boss and say, "Oh, you need to take Joe Blow, give him the promotion. He's going to make your life so much easier." Yada yada yada. And that's really kind of one of the purposes for this light. Again, it's just it supercharges the helmet itself, and we can go into stories about how I've used this technology to do several things. I worked on it was a storm coming out of the Caribbean, going up the East Coast, and apparently it was going to land near a friend of mine who just so happened to be over by Fort Bragg in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and they were expecting to have a flood. They were preparing for heavy storms and all this stuff. And so what I did was, I got on, I think it was AccuWeather.com, and I saw the eye of the hurricane. It was right there. And what I would do is I would turn on the device, tune in for the storm, and within about 3 minutes, I was right in the middle of that hurricane. I was just focusing on it off a computer screen and projecting myself into it. And I could smell it. I could feel the breeze coming off of it. I could hear it. It was surprisingly, it was not as loud as I thought it would be. And what all I did was I was trying to steer it off the coast, just have it go back into the Atlantic Ocean, and stay out of everybody's harms, preventing harm's way for anybody. And anyway, so what happened was instead of going inland, it went ahead and diverted back into the ocean, or it went further north. And as it went further north, it lost more and more energy, and I don't think it was nearly as bad as it got up toward New England. But that's just an example of using this helmet. There's other stories I could give of remote viewing, and I think I'm going to save that one for the next video when we talk about remote viewing. But hopefully I've given you a general overview of how this helmet works, and we're going to kind of go into how this can be used in some of the other little stories that I've come up with as the result of using these helmets. It's pretty interesting stuff. So, is there anything else I need to cover here before we end this video?
No, I think we're good. We'll see you at the next one.
Thank you.